Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your main man, T-Square, Tristan Thomas. This is Quick Toss for Week 7 of the NFL season. Packers, Cardinals went down earlier this afternoon. Green Bay Packers escape Arizona with a 27-23 victory. That's right, Green Bay victorious, 27-23, and I said they escaped, because that's very much what they did. They escaped Arizona with that victory. It was not a great showing offensively. It was not a great showing defensively. It was not a great showing discipline-wise. The only great showing I saw was from the kicker, who was damn near a substitute teacher. But we'll get to that in a minute. Packers did escape. It is a victory. You will take it however you can get it. And remember, I did say on Quick Toss. Oh, excuse me, not Quick Toss, but on Squared Logic, which you can see on YouTube at Toss Nation Media. Packers would win this ball game 28-21. I always felt this game would be close, because what we have seen from the Green Bay Packers is they will play close to their competition. They will play down to their competition. We saw it against the Browns. We saw it against the Cowboys. We saw it in the second half against the Bengals. We now have seen it against Arizona, a team that had all sorts of injuries, all sorts of struggles, all sorts of challenges, not being able to come through in those one-score games. And not only do you let them hang around in this game, but you allowed them to lead this game for a good portion of it. Let's get into the numbers. Offensively, for the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, I felt he played a very smart game. 19 for 29, 179 yards, a touchdown, 4 carries, 22 yards. He did not make that critical mistake, but he did have a couple of throws that need to be better, because Matt LaFleur dialed up perfect plays. In particular, the one off the top of my head, first drive for Green Bay in the game in the first quarter. You decide to go for it on fourth down. I believe it was 4th and 5. LaFleur sees something in the defense. Oh, we could take a shot here. They take the shot. Romeo Doubs gets sort of behind the defense and is just out of his outreached arms. A better throw from Love. That is 6. You're in the lead off top. And this may be a completely different ball game at that point. You can demoralize a team like the Cardinals, who have had all these struggles, who have had all of these close losses, who have had all of these injuries and everything else going on with them. You can demoralize them, take the wind straight out of their sails with a shot like that, being successful in the first quarter on your first drive, and you were unable to do it because you didn't throw a good enough ball. But again, he did not have the critical mistake. Played a very smart game. Josh Jacobs, dealing with that calf injury, he was a true game-time decision. 13 carries, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. It is his third straight 2 rushing touchdown game. His third straight. So he's continuing to fight through everything. The illness, the calf, going out there, still being a hammer, still producing. Romeo Doubs leading the way in receiving. 6 catches, 72 yards. Again, you would have loved to hit that shot in the first quarter on 4th down. That would have been a touchdown shot, a long touchdown shot. Just weren't able to connect. Tucker Kraft, the only receiving touchdown for the team. 5 catches, 58 yards. Again, that receiving touchdown. He's Tucker Kraft. He's one of the better tight ends in all of the league. For the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Packers allowed him to make a long completion streak. I believe it was 14 or 16 straight completions. Disgusting. But I did warn on Squared Logic that, hey, he's been good in that backup role everywhere he's gone. He can do this. And if you give a team like this and give a guy like this confidence, that's a bad thing, because they're going to keep excelling. Trey McBride, another great tight end in the league, 10 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. How he got free on crossing routes constantly, I have no idea. That's something that's going to need to be addressed. Jeff Hafley. Packers corners were burnt toast just about all damn game long. A lot of long receptions from the likes of Zay Jones, who had 2 catches for 67 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 2 catches for 58 yards. I believe his long was 35. I believe Zay Jones's was 41 yards. Long reception. Constantly getting cooked was this secondary. And that's supposed to be the Jeff Hafley special. Now, I've not had to get on Jeff Hafley too much. But in this game right here, where the secondary is supposed to be your specialty, you come in second to last in turnovers forced in the National Football League. And your corners are constantly getting cooked. I'm not going to put all the onus on Jeff Hafley, but I will say I've seen him guess wrong a lot more times in this game than I have in his entire tenure to this point. A frustrating watch for the defense, especially with all the penalties. Same with the offense. Same with special teams. Let's go to the defense. The defense, as far as their pressure and being able to get home, they had a banner day. Quay Walker, 5 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Micah Parsons with his first 3-sack game of his career. Let me hit you with that again. His first 3-sack game of his career. He's had 2.5 a bunch of times. This is his first 3-sack game. Rashawn Gary had a sack, a forced fumble, which was huge. Packers getting that first forced fumble, going in and scoring, tying the ball game. Kingsley Enagbari had a half a sack. The pressure was getting home. The pressure was getting home, and it really is what saved that secondary. It's really what saved that secondary from constantly getting cooked with these long passes. And for a team that likes to keep everything in front of them, to be able to allow these long passes to happen, these long receptions to happen. A real befuddling day. Special teams, Lucas Haversick, again, the guy who was going to be a substitute teacher just a couple of weeks ago. End of the first half. Cardinals were up 13-3. Looking real good. All the confidence in the world. A nice quick long reception by the Packers gets them into field goal range. 61, why not? You're indoors in Arizona. Why not give it a shot? LaFleur decides to do that. And he bangs through a 61-yard field goal. That is a franchise record. Makes the game 13-6 at the half. That is a completely different look. Gives you a little bit of confidence, although that first drive after halftime left a lot to the imagination for the Packers. But it gives you a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence. Completely different ball game looking at 13-6 as opposed to 13-3. But you really dig into the numbers. The Cardinals outgained the Packers in almost every category, but yet Green Bay still found a way to win. That pass rush is what saved the ball game. Being able to get home in those critical spots, being able to give that ball back to the offense so they could go and match scores and eventually take the lead. They really saved that secondary from getting cooked even further. What didn't help and made this much more difficult than it needed to be was the undisciplined way this team went about business this afternoon. 10 penalties for 94 yards. That is not sustainable. You cannot keep dropping the hammer on your foot and think you're going to win ball games. Now, LaFleur is going to come out. He's going to give that same coach speak that we got to be better. We got to clean things up and yada, yada, yada. We know the speech he's going to say. But when are you going to see it tangibly? We'll discuss more of that on Toss this Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, available wherever you get your podcast. You will definitely take a win. Packers escaping Arizona 27-23, and they now turn their attention after improving to 4-1-1. They now turn their attention to a Sunday night ball game, a Sunday night tilt against the Pittsburgh Steelers and old friend Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk a lot more about that on Toss again this Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll also talk about the Brewers, and we'll get ready for Bucs season. Until then, it's T-Square reminding you that you need to keep it moving forward. Always forward. Forward always. Until Toss on Tuesday. So long from the Quick Toss.